Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Lily here. Hope you're doing all okay. So today I'll be doing for you a first impression review on this coverage foundation by The Ordinary. I know this brand recently exploded all over the internet and I don't really own anything from this brand apart this foundation now. And they had a really, the whole brand had a really good positive reviews. I'm really looking forward to using this foundation. Now the shade I got is 1.1 and which is for neutral. That's how the bottle looks like. It's got a little dispenser and it is like a plastic bottle. I'm gonna just read you what The Ordinary says of this foundation online. Coverage foundations are full coverage formulations available in comprehensive shade range across 21 shades. This foundation contains higher pigment levels than our serum foundations, but still offers a smooth finish that avoids the heavy makeup look that can make skin appear more aged. The texture is that of a lightweight, non-oily cream. The pigments used in these formulations are treated for a rich, highly saturated effect. These pigments are suspended in our proprietary spreadability system that allows pigments to look natural on the skin, resist collecting within fine lines and stay on for longer. The foundations offer a semi-matte finish and are compatible with most primers and are designed to work exceptionally well with primers offering from The Ordinary. So that's what The Ordinary says of the foundation. What else it says on there? It's got the SPF of 15 and it says shake well before use, so let's just shake it well. I've already primed my face with the Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer, as I always do. Pump, a couple of pumps on the back of my hand. It looks, it's not too thick, but it's not too runny. It's like kind of got, it has a creamy consistency as you can see, but it starts to run a tiny bit, so it's not like very thick foundation, but it's not really runny at the same time. The shade looks like can be a really nice shade for me as well, for a change, because I never get myself matched online for some reason. Oh, that looks really light actually. It's actually a really good match. It is a really good match. Wow. So that was just literally, I had 2 pumps on the back of my hand. As you can see, I've got a lot of redness on my face. It kind of evened everything out, but if I look closely, I've got like a few like red spots on my cheek which are peeking through, but not very slightly, but they're still peeking through. I'm just gonna finish off the rest of my face. It blends really nice. Yeah, it doesn't have any scent to it at all, which is a really big plus, especially if you've got a really sensitive skin. And oh, I've got to mention I have dry to sensitive skin. Anyway, this blended out really nice. It looks really good. I'm really liking it. So I'm just gonna finish off the rest of my face, my forehead. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna have one more pump at the back of my hand and I'm just gonna see how it builds. Now this is definitely full coverage. All those redness that were peeking through, everything is gone. It's like it's been erased. Like, look at my black circles are gone as well. Whoa, this is really full coverage. I maybe didn't even need as much as 1 pump to build it, but it definitely builds really nicely if you want to add some more foundation if you feel like it's needed. That is, oh yes. Like, oh my god, my dark circles are erased. Right, as you can see, the foundation really, it's definitely full coverage. Like, my dark circles are absolutely gone. It is definitely semi-matte finish. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take you to a window so you can see how the foundation looks like without artificial light. I'm sorry about the lighting, but unfortunately I live in the UK, so grey is the life in here. So there you go, this is how foundation looks like without the artificial light. As you can see, my skin is absolutely flawless. The foundation doesn't feel heavy, even though I've applied about, what, two and a half pumps all over the face. There's a bit of transfer, but I'm gonna give it a minute. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give it a minute, apply the rest of my makeup, and see as soon as it settles down. Hopefully it won't transfer. As you can see, there's a bit of a glow to it, but again, we need to wait till the foundation really settles, and I'll let you know in a minute. I've just applied the rest of my makeup. I haven't really gone crazy with it, just a bit of contour, blush, and mascara. Right, I know I've probably had this foundation for about half an hour, but I am so impressed with it. It looks better than some of my high-end foundations. Now this guy was like £6, but as I said, I'm so impressed. Usually when I apply my makeup and I go with concealer, I need to apply concealer over my nose because I've got a really red nose, but with this guy I didn't really need to apply anything on my nose. It just erased everything. I feel really photoshopped. I've applied a bit of a cream contour. It blended really well. It didn't move. I've applied a bit of a powder blush as well. It sits on my skin very well. The foundation doesn't show any of my imperfections because I do have like a texture on my cheeks, but I just feel like they've been over-erased. Nothing's being like shown. Sometimes when you got really full coverage foundations, I feel like some of my imperfection, like my texture, shows through it. It like kind of makes it look even worse than they were before I've applied the foundation. But no, I'm just very impressed. Still transfers a bit. That's a bit of an issue. And also it didn't settle in my fine lines. So I'm very, very impressed. It's definitely semi-matte finish. Anyway, when I applied this foundation, it was 12 o'clock, so I've probably seen about 4 hours maybe to show you how it was. So yeah, I'll see in a bit. Hi guys, so it is now 4:30, so the foundation has been on for about 4.5 hours. And I decided to switch off my artificial light so you can see how the foundation looks in real life. It hasn't really changed the color, so it doesn't oxidize. It still looks pretty much flawless, and I'm still very impressed with it. There's just two issues, small issues really, which I found with it. It started to settle down in my smile lines a bit, and if you have oily skin, you may need to powder it, or put some mattifying products before you use it, like you probably do anyway. But it is because it started to get a bit shiny around my nose. But pretty much apart that, everything else looks really good. So I'm just gonna zoom you in so you can see how it looks up close. As you can see, it is shiny around my nose, and kind of you can see how it's settled in my smile lines. Sometimes foundation also settle in my forehead lines, but this one didn't. This foundation didn't in this case. It might be because I've put a bit less product on my forehead, whereas I've put a bit. As you could see, I tried to show you how it builds, so it may be why it kind of built in my smile lines. But I'm still quite impressed with it. So yeah, I will see you in about 4 hours again for the final update. Hi guys, so it is now 8 o'clock and the foundation has been on for about 8 hours, and so it definitely wore off a bit on my chin, but I do touch my chin quite often. It's still settled in my lines. It kind of wore off around my mouth area like this. I know the chin's wore off, but it wore off a bit more around my mouth. it looks tiny bit dry just around this cheek area here, and it also looks a bit oily, like shiny, not oily, but it looks a bit like shiny around my nose on here. And apart that, it's still the rest of my face still looks really good. All the imperfections, all the redness, everything is still covered, apart just this bit around here. This wore off and it looks tiny bit dry on here. Even though the foundation wore off a bit around here and looks tiny bit dry, I mean, I wore it for about 8 hours and I still think it looks better than some of my high-end full coverage foundations. If you have oily skin, I would say, you know, definitely make sure to powder your T-zone. But apart that, I'm quite impressed with it. I love the coverage. I love how it didn't change, you know, I love how it didn't oxidize. So for the £6, I think it's a really good purchase. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I wasn't all over the place here, because I still find it a bit awkward to do this. But anyway, hopefully we'll see you in my next video. Take care.